Wow, look at how smooth that comes out. Wow. Wow. Dries really fast. Wow. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, where I go around the world and the internet looking for art supplies to make your life just a little bit easier, or for you to enjoy the craft just this much more. Now today we are going to a company that we don't do a lot of reviews about because they don't necessarily have a lot of product, but they did come out with a brand new product called Creative, and that is the Sharpie Creative Markers. Now, I was very curious when I heard about these, and I was like, ooh, Creative. I really wonder what this is going to be like, because Sharpie has a reputation for being that permanent marker that you just write on everything. And so I was like, how are they going to make this a creative thing? And so when I saw the package, I picked it up and I was like, oh, well, this might just be a little bit interesting. So I'm very excited to check these out and review them with you and see if they're even worth it. And as you know, there's only one way to make sure if it's worth it or not. Come on, let's go check them out. All right, so what I instantly realized when I saw these was that they have a lot. So there's 12 markers here, but there are 24 markers that you can pick up. And there is a difference. So there are some that are bullet and some that are brush. So I went ahead and picked up one bullet and one brush. So let's see, let's look at the big one first. So no bleed is what it says, right? And it works on light and dark surfaces. Now, what makes this interesting, it's a water-based acrylic marker. So it's actually a paint marker. And I think that's what really intrigued me the most, with POSCA pens taking over and, paint pens being all the rage, for Sharpie to come out and make not only a brush, but a bullet tip as well. I'm very excited, very, very excited. And it's no priming, so there's no, shaking, apparently. No shaking and pushing on the on the tip of the marker to make it activated. So that's really interesting. Like, that was one of the things I really hated. Colors layer without blending. Boldly marks on paper, metal, wood, ceramic, glass, rock, and canvas. Water resistant and fade resistant. No bleed through the paper. Okay, so you do gotta shake it. So for best results, shake before use and then store markers horizontally. So yeah. But it should be interesting. As far as the packaging goes, we have a bit of chipboard and then clear plastic so that you can see the marker that you're getting. Nothing too special there, especially on the back. It's a black and white image for a color product, so that's an odd choice that they made, but it gets the job done. So let's go ahead and break these open and see what we're dealing with here. Move this out of the way real quick. Top. Okay, nothing, just something. All right, so the pen itself, it's a bit small. Remember, I have big hands, so it feels a bit small, but it's not the smallest pen that we've reviewed here on the channel. So you got to keep that in mind. It seems a bit smaller, but it's all right. You can feel the plastic, but it's not too plasticky, so it's actually a nice little blend of the material there. Nothing really on it. It just says Sharpie Creative Marker. You get a nice big indicator as to what the color is on the cap. And now this, the design for this, it's not gonna roll anywhere, right? That's it. So that's great, actually, that even if you kind of fling it, the design there really makes that a stop, right? Like that right there, it's just gonna stop. So that's good. Ooh, look at that. That is a nice brush. That is a really nice brush, and you can instantly see that it's already got the paint in there, even though it's like, oh, we definitely want to shake it, so we'll probably shake it up beforehand, but you can definitely see the ink that, or the paint that's right there. So that's really cool. I like that. Let's see if we can post it. Yep, post is really nice and snug. Let's check out the snap. It's got a nice snap to it, and it has two different indicators. So it's got an indicator on the actual pen here, and then it's also got one on the cap. So that's really nice. When you shake it, it doesn't have that weird tooth sound that most of the pens have. So when you shake up one of the POSCA pens, right, you've got that going on. So that might be cool if you want it, but this is, all you really hear is the ink or the paint sloshing around inside the pen. So that's really cool. I like that. Now, let's see. These are the bullet. Okay, so the bullet ones, or at least this was black and white, so I really wanted to pick up these because these might be my new POSCA pens if they work, right? But these are thicker. So these are instantly thicker than the other ones, and it's also bigger. So these are, right, these are bigger. They're bigger and longer as well. So that's interesting. So it should be able to give us a lot more ink from it. The design's the same, the plastic's the same. I like the cap so that it won't actually, you can force it, but this edge right here really stops it from rolling around. And that is a nice big bullet nib. So it's like a medium bullet nib, but it looks very sturdy. And once again, you can see the ink on there. Sorry, the paint, which is nice. And then it's got the two indicators as well, right? White, same thing here. It's got two indicators. So even if you switched up the caps, right? So even if you switched up the caps, you would still, on the marker itself, you'd be able to tell what the marker is. Let's see if it posts. Posts real nice. So that's good. And then we got a nice snap. All right. Sounds good. Okay, put this out of the way. So now, put these over here. So now I have not only our tried and true Bristol board 300 series smooth surface, but I also went ahead and grabbed some black paper, a black paper sketchbook, because it says that it works on light and dark surfaces. So we're going to test that out with our sketchbook here, see how that works. But first, grab us a piece of paper from here. And then we're just going to grab one of these and try it. So let's try this blue. I'm going to shake it up first. All right, now it says that it doesn't need to activate, so we don't need to activate it. Nope, look at that. Oh, that is nice. That is a nice brush. It's not too firm, and it's not super soft, but you can get some very nice, look at those lines, wow. That color is great, and then you can get really nice thin lines. You can actually flick it off. That's that, okay. Let's see. Wow, look at how smooth that comes out. Wow. Wow. Dries really fast. Wow. That dries really fast. Wow. All right, so okay, so that's pretty much dry. Let's go ahead and try this yellow. Then they said it doesn't bleed through the back. It doesn't. All right, let's try this yellow. Yeah, super smooth. Works really well. Let's see if you can do some. Oh, look at that. Right, you can even do swirly loops with it. Comes out like that. See, layers really nice, doesn't even smear like as you layer it. Now, here's the thing that I'm curious about, okay? Because normally with the Posca pens and paint markers, you can just go right over the other color and see what happens. Oh wow. Well, it's a little thin. All right, so you can still see through it. So it's not necessarily robust. See if we just needed to shake it up more. Yeah, it seems like we needed to shake it up. So apparently, okay, so we got a real good indicator here. So if you start getting this as it goes over something, that means you just need to shake it up a little bit more, and then it comes out nice and dark, right? And you can go right over it like that. Nice. Okay, so that's good. That's good to see. Purple. Oh, let's see what it is without activation. See? Look at that. You really don't. You didn't need to shake it up, but with that, you can start. I don't know if you can really see that, but right there, right, the paint, it's not all the way in. So you definitely want to come in and shake these up before you get started. I don't think that's too much of a problem, right, to shake it up just a little bit. One of the best things that I like about this is that I don't have to sit here and push down on it a bunch of times to try and activate it. I really like that. And let's see, right, there's no paint splatter that comes out when you do that. All right, so we're gonna fill. Oh wow, it's just so smooth how that comes out. Right, it's such a nice thin tip, so you can do real fine work if you need to. Right, but it's flexible enough to give you a nice thicker line if you need it. Oh, I like these. All right, let's try. Come up with this teal. Shake it up, and then we're gonna see once this dries. Right, we're gonna put the teal over top of it, so obviously the darker color with the lighter color. And this one needs a little bit more shaking. All right, there we go. And you can always tell, or at least I can tell, that when the ink's really in there, or when it's really in the brush, because when you go over it, you can see the shine of the paint. And so that's how I will always know, oh, right, this one has enough ink in it to work. So let's see, is that dry now? Yep, stuff dries super fast. Wow, look at that. Right on top, super artistic, right? You can make nice swoopy lines with it. This is, you know what? These are great. And once again, I'm not the brush type person, but these are really good. And they have a gray and a black. I'm gonna try that out in a second. Let's see. And this one's kind of toothy. It's got a little tooth in it. Unlike the other ones, it just sounded like there was water. Yeah, gray's nice too. So you can even get a nice gray going. Skip that and go to the black. Yeah. Ooh, and super opaque colors, right? So. Right. Yep, and then it comes back, you fill stuff up, and then it's still nice. You got a lot of ink going on. The one that I'm really worried about is this the white one? Yeah, is the white one, right? To see just how it's gonna work over top of some of these things, right? Because normally the white is the problem. White's the one that normally doesn't want to work. All right, so shook that up. You can definitely see that it's there, and we're just gonna, ooh, yeah. That is nice. That's real nice. Look at that. Look at that. So very nice. Try this. That's just nice. All right. Flows really good. Super nice. All right, let's quickly try the black one. Ooh. It wants you to shake, but this one makes no noise whatsoever. Look at that. Okay. Try this one. Try it down here. Like that. Very nice, very smooth. Ink comes out real nice. And like I said, because it's paint, right? It just goes over the other paint. So you can layer your stuff really nice. That's good stuff. Let's try this one. Try the white and see what we can do, what kind of damage we can do with this white. Yeah, it comes out the exact same way, right? Comes out nice. So the one thing, so it does come out pretty good. I don't know if you need to shake the white a little bit more. So what I'm seeing about this is that the white actually fades, right? All the other colors stay very consistent even though you go over it with something. The white seems to fade. It's not the most opaque white. Oh, now I got a lot of ink. It seems like it's the same thing, so I can't even complain about it if it looks like it's fading, right? Because this is after shaking. So if it looks like it, nope. See, I was trying to give it some love here, but it seems like it always kind of fades out. The white kind of fades. So you got to keep that in mind while you can still do it. Maybe if we go over it. But it seems like the white itself kind of constantly fades. So you don't necessarily have an opaque white. So that's kind of, it's kind of sad. All right, but let's go ahead and move over onto black. So, and then we're just going to test these colors. I want to try the pink. Okay. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. The brush ones are really nice. I love the control from this brush. You can go from thick to thin. Colors are really opaque. But, and I didn't really shake this one as much, but as you can see, it'll start off strong. I don't know if you can see. Like, it'll start off strong, and then it'll fade out. So, I think I just need to shake it more to make sure that there's plenty of paint in it. No, it seems like as it gets towards the end, let's try if we go a little slower. Okay. If you go slower, the paint can follow you along. So if you're going really fast, if you're doing that, it'll fade towards the end. But if you go kind of slow, which could be a problem, but the slower you go, the more the paint can come out. Oh. And then we're going to try the white. They're nice. They're very nice and opaque, and then you don't have to really worry about going over it, like, oh, it won't show. It definitely, once the ink is dry, it'll show through. But you can tell, like, I didn't shake this one up as much, and so it kind of fades towards the end. And I was going pretty slow with those, so you got to make sure that there's plenty of ink or paint on your brush. So I would suggest with this, like, you shake it every so often, right? Because you can get some nice stuff. It's got nice colors, but see, it definitely. Okay, on the black, it seems to dry a little bit. It dries darker, but then, like, right where there's really a lot of paint, right? When it first hit, there's a lot of paint. It's a lot lighter. But then for the rest of the thing, it dries darker, and it seems to dry darker for all the rest of these too. So it's always at the very tip top that it gives you a lot of ink. So that's definitely something that you need to consider yourself with, because if you're trying to get a more consistent look, it might not work out as well. I'm waiting to see just how this white is going to interact with the black, because it looks good, but we're waiting for it to dry to see what happens. Let me see, because these ones were the ones that I did when I shook it again, because I want to see, because it's also drying darker, but it's not fading as much. Like with the white, it faded a lot more, but here it doesn't. But see, you can tell just a little bit, right? There's a little bit more white paint at the beginning of the drawing, and then see, look, I hate that. See that? Look, see, I hate that when you're using paint pens and you're supposed to shake them, but you shake it and then it just kind of explodes onto your kind of explodes onto the pen, and that's because there's too much paint, which is, it's not necessarily the pen's fault, but you should be able to, if it tells you to shake, if it doesn't have a specific number, and it's like only shake it 5 times, then it should be able to hold the ink in place so that you don't get this kind of explosion thing going on. But as long as you are aware of like what's gonna happen, like this clearly on the darker color, it dries faster, and it gets more consistent. So as it actually dries, the color actually becomes the same. So but yeah, I do like the white on the black paper a lot. It shines, it kicks up a little bit more, so that's nice, but it's not necessarily like white, it's not like super opaque white. But I like the fact that there's the brush and the bullet that you can use, and so it just makes it nice. It is nice. All right, so we just got done reviewing the Sharpie Creative Paint markers, and you know what? All in all, I think you should go out and buy these. They seem really fun. The ink flow is great. The brushes are fantastic. The bullet nib works just fine. These are nice. They're a very nice alternative to what I would say are the very expensive POSCA pens. They have a nice quality. It feels good. You just got to shake it, right? You got to make sure, like, if it starts to fade, but I guess that's with any paint marker, right? Once you start going and it becomes translucent as you kind of pull it, you got to shake it up a little bit again, and then you can keep moving. The one downside that I've seen on this is the white. The white's the most inconsistent of all the markers because it really does fade out. And I'm looking at it again, and it's just like, yeah, it really does fade. And then if you shake it too much, as you saw, the white will just kind of explode. And that was with the bullet, not the the brush, so the brush might not do it, but the bullet definitely did. And that's always a bummer when you have to worry about opening the cap and then just paint spewing out of it. So you want to keep that in mind. It's happened to me in every paint marker that I've ever used. It's normally with white. But I would personally like the white to have stayed a little bit more opaque. It seems like it's the only one that's diluted, and it's both the brush and the bullet. So that's honestly is my biggest downside to the creative Sharpie markers. I think they're really fun. They're really good. I will be using these in the future. They seem fantastic. 100% fantastic. They look great. They feel nice, and it is a super cheap alternative to the ultra popular POSCA markers. So I really hope that you go check them out, because I firmly believe that these are worth it. Well, that wraps up today's episode of Is It Worth It? I hope that you got some type of information that was useful to you, and that you are excited for the next episode that comes. And with that said, if you have any supplies that you would like to have me review, please go ahead and drop it in the comments below, and I will add it to the list. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you get notified every single time that I drop new content. Thank you all so very much, and I will see you at the next episode.